I always end up writing, be they movies, plays, TV series, it seems, about people leaving and going out somewhere outside of the world they live in. And so I'm just interested in that. And Jake, real Jake, and then imbued in the much fictionalized, but still from a kernel of real Jake, my Jake, Ansel Jake, Tokyo Vice Jake, is I'm just really fascinated and drawn to a young man who is so burning to reinvent himself as the way he wants to be seen in the world that he would leave his family, leave his nation, leave his continent, learn another language, and risk his life because that's how he viewed the Jake that he wanted to be. And then what's the price you pay for that? That interests me. And as for season two, I had from the get-go had a sense of what I wanted the story to be over the first two seasons. So thus the cliffhangers for me were really unbeknownst to the audience till now, just reaching the midway point. And as if you've seen some of the episodes, you'll see that, in many ways, the first episode of the second season is really the climax. It's part B to part A of the last episode of season one. And then we leap ahead 3 months in time and in essence begin season two. And if season one really was to create the world, to lay the palette, to lay out the silverware, as it were. And now we're going to eat. And now we've created, and the war is going to happen, and the sort of moral questions are going to become quite gripping for all of our main characters.
This project is particularly personal to me because I don't know if you know, but my whole academic background is in Japan. And my film career began in Japan, and my college degree is in Japanese literature, and I speak the language fluently. But after doing a couple of early films that were connected to Japan, I decided I didn't want that to be my career. And so then I spent the next 20 years making television series that had nothing to do with Japan at all. And so when I was invited to come back into this one, of course, I've known JT a long time. I've known Real Jake, as we call him, a long time, and was a friend of the family of the project. But when it became a TV series and they asked me to step in, it was, first of all, a huge 25 years later homecoming for me to go back to Japan and shoot there and use my skills there and my connections there and revive the relationships there. So that was incredibly personal. But as you say, the second thrill was that I had done action sequences before. As a director, I directed a couple episodes of Rome for HBO, where we had some huge action sequences. So the Tokyo Vice allowed me, especially doing the season finale last season, to really set things up and set up some action set pieces and indulge in a kind of action kinetic filmmaking that wasn't what most of my career had been, which was great. But what keeps it anchored, what makes it easy to do as a director, is the fact that, as JT knows from the inception, this show is not, it has the outward auspices of a crime show, but it's a character show. The thing that makes Tokyo Vice tick is the depths of the characters and the ways in which we draw close to them and the ways in which all of the repercussions stem from the decisions that they make. So in that sense, I feel like it fits very squarely into the work that I've been doing my whole career.
I think there's two aspects of the show. What drew me to wanting to make a series out of it that I think, if I could project my own interest as a viewer onto others, and I think there's some overlap, is I think we as viewers are drawn to seeing people at work, to literally see people at work and what is it like to work in fields I know nothing about, and taking that step further to be taken into a subculture, in this case, subcultures of subcultures that I know nothing about. There's something about being given secret information, euphemistically, that is quite thrilling as a viewer. And then this show is about worlds under the surface of worlds. Even the newspaper world is sort of completely removed from day-to-day Japanese society, let alone the Yakuza, let alone the miso shobai. So I think that coupled with what Alan spoke about so well is I'm only interested in character. All this other stuff is fantastic, but it's about what does she need? What does he need? What are they willing to sacrifice to get it? And what does that mean? And then that pulls us in.